Welcome back to the AM Club right here on MX24. If you're just joining in, you made the right choice. We're having a very important conversation for my gal dems and the boys dems who feel very unsafe going into the job market. Today is for you. We, in collaboration with the president of the of the country, are with you, and we're making sure that these conversations are had to protect you, to protect all of us from being abused before we even get onto the job market. Now, there's an aspect of the conversation that I think is also very important. The idea that, and so yeah, again, you're welcome back. My guests are also still here.
Sure.
The conversation is so, I'm so engulfed in it that because sometimes I worry.
Yeah.
I worry. Sometimes you see some of these young girls, they're starting in a new environment, and if you see their appearance coming into the company, what to me who say agenda count?
Yeah.
Like you can tell that this young girl either doesn't know how to dress, or she understands that dressing this type of way will get me into the rooms of certain people that I can get favor, because it has become a mindset.
Okay.
So also, as much as the president is fighting for these young girls to be protected, also there has to be a massive mindset shift. That you don't have to use your body to get anything. You don't have to sleep with anybody. So that's, you're going to spend money on clothes that are revealing, just so that someone will see you in a certain light. Because again, I've heard this before, where someone said that this rape victim, she was raped because of the way she dressed, and I was really upset.
Yeah.
So your dressing shouldn't warrant abuse. But I'm telling us that there's a way to dress to work.
Yeah.
That will not, again, and I'm going to unfold all the layers of this conversation. So you know that, so men, the way they are designed, they'll tell you that men are very visual people. So to protect the mental health, because some of these men, they're crazy. They don't know. They are not morally correct. They don't know.
I'm glad you said they are not morally correct.
True.
Or they have not been, they cannot control certain aspects of their lives. Some men are mentally unstable.
Good.
And these mentally unstable people need to be put in spaces where their mental health is protected. So if this man, Jaja, this is in corner, you see men and women wearing kaba and sleeves, happy walking around, he will not be drawn into that space. Stay with me. I know you are breathing hard. It's okay. Stay with me.
Myself, I have a lot.
These men are not. My sister will tell you, they are not bothering nobody. Okay, they are not bothering nobody. They are in the office, JJ, in their office. Okay, boss has closed his door. Then you intern, you job seeker, you are coming. You have open cleavage. You have open backside. You have come and show up there. And you are stressing the guy's mental health, and something is triggered in his head, and he drags you, or he tries to play with you in a certain way. I'm sorry, but I can blame you too. There is a certain way you dress to work. That is work appropriate. That way you're protecting both yourself and the individual that you don't know where their mental health is.
Yeah.
So even for us as women, we have work to do. I know a man who likes his women covered, nice hair, simple things, natural face. So if you go, they'll ask me, now, and they say, that one, you know that God has to help you in that room. But don't go and be the reason why a man, put you in a position that's now law has to deal with them. So we also have our role to play.
Okay.
That is the part I want to add. Now, please say it.
Okay. Now,
I guess I also.
Yes.
now,
please.
I want to start off by saying that, do we have Muslim women
Yes, we do.
who dress decently, have their hijab on,
Yes.
and everything,
Yes.
and still face sex for job and sexual
But you heard
harassment?
the last part I said.
I heard it. We have such people.
Yeah.
Now, again, so far as if I dress inappropriate to work, I get the angle you're coming from, dressing appropriately. If I dress inappropriate to work, the HR, there is a way that we are supposed to dress. So the HR, the onus lies on the HR, okay, to ensure, call you or query you, you are dressing inappropriately. And the reason they are querying you shouldn't be because a certain man somewhere is unable to tame their animalistic tendencies. No, that I will not accept.
Okay.
You should be warned because it's inappropriate, because it goes against the company's policies. But to be warned because a certain man somewhere cannot, it's crazy, it's whatever, it's morally corrupt, and all of that. No, it's wrong. It's such men who even rape toddlers. It's such men who even rape 2-year, 3-year-olds. Now, if somebody decides to dress inappropriate, you see, men are the enablers of all the things that women do. If I come showing my cleavage, showing my butt, my thighs, and you ignore me, make me feel insignificant, I come to stand there to do a presentation, and the presentation is flawed. You know it's flawed. But instead of focusing on the presentation, you are looking at me. Then you equally have a problem. You should be able to let me know that, young lady, you've done your best, but this is not what we expected of you. Say it as it is. Do not give the person the promotion or let the person feel they did well when you know very well they didn't do well. All because of their outfit. We also spoke about the fact that some women, they go in with this mindset. For that, we can deal with that. We can look at it as for me, I see it as a very myopic and shallow mindset. Because if I go in for a job or for a promotion based off of my looks and I do not have you see, I keep saying that beauty can always get you into the room, but what sustains you is substance, is what you have. So if I go there with that and I'm able to get the present CEO, seduce him to give me the job, am I able to seduce every other CEO that will come to the office? Is every other CEO like the first CEO you met who fell for your antics and gave you the job? Shouldn't you be thinking about your job security? Shouldn't you be thinking about things that can help you secure your financial and your economic freedom forever until you probably die or you probably go on pension? That is the mindset you should carry. Else, you end up giving your body to everybody and people who do not even deserve it. And you might be a married woman and still do that because you cannot stop, because you got it through that. And for me, I feel young ladies should see it as a very, like I said, a very myopic and shallow way of reasoning. And do better. Enhance yourself. Be knowledgeable such that even if you are very ugly looking, they will look at it and go like, see, there's nobody who can do it better than Mimi. We don't have a choice other than to give it to Mimi. And that is what women should be bragging about. Absolutely. That is what women should thrive to be noted for. And not noted for curves. Now we have a lot of artificial curves.
Right now, the curves there is
it's all over. And what are you the only one? Again, when it comes to beauty, you might be very beautiful, but there is somebody who is prettier than you.
Of course.
At all times. So if the next and that is what makes them get bitter. And then they start this jealousy in the office and make the office very hostile for everyone. Other person. So it should be looked at holistically. But for us to say that, oh, for me, I would only advise women in that regard because it's for your own good and not because somebody will be tempted. No, for that, I do not subscribe to that.
Yes. So it's also very important for you to know that because I see that a lot. That one day, my area that I'm in,
it's happens.
Someone has actually even given me a project I rejected.
Wow.
Because this girl walks into spaces and you ask yourself, are they wearing fifi, Anna? Sometimes you look at them like, why? What is this? If you have money to buy these $2, skirts hanging in the air, dress showing cleavage, then use that same money to cover yourself. Like, unless your agenda is to. So that is also an aspect.
I think some people too do not know how to dress. We have instances where people do not even know what is appropriate for corporate. So you have to mentor them.
That's the job of the HR, please.
Yeah, that's why I said
HR
should do that.
All right. So I think my sister has said a lot. And again, I want to reiterate a point that she made, that regardless of what someone wears to work, even if the person comes half naked, as a man, it is not an excuse for you to engage in anything exploitative. We need to understand that. Because just like she said, we would always have, society is developing, and in as much as society develops, people would deviate. You know, this taste for foreign culture and all of that, people want to dress in some ways that are explicit and all of that, you understand? It's fine. So people would continue to be people. Women especially will continue to, like she said, these days we see the curves and all of that. People, why do you think people even go in for the BBL? Because there's a problem in society. Our women have been sexualized. Society itself has sexualized our women. And so why would an ordinary woman would decide to go have curves? Because she believes that is what she needs. Instead of the mind lift, they think that they need a body lift. That is what they need to get to where they are supposed to go to. So women would always have these issues. But men are supposed to be able to control themselves. Just like you said, if that person is your sister and that was done to her, would you be happy? I have a sister, and I wouldn't want any of such things to happen to my sister. So as well, it's about principles, and I say family values are very important. Most of the times, I keep complaining that we always look at the reactionary side of things, the laws and all of that. But again, we should also be focusing on the preventive side. That is the family values, the kind of people we groom, the formative stage. Because if we don't groom people with principles, they'll grow up to be bad men. And then you would have to use the laws. And where the law cannot keep the issue, then they'll go scot-free.
Yeah.
But you see, it should be about your instincts. And I like to use myself as an example. People normally don't do that, but I use myself as an example. I remember some time back where I work, I had a colleague who I think I was crashing on. She was very good. She looked good. But one thing about me, I'm very professional. I'm the type of guy who, when it's work, it's work. Outside work, when we want to have fun, it's fun. I can tell you that I worked with this lady for like 4 years. There was never a day when I see a good morning, the relationship was very formal. It was until she left the job. She wasn't even a subordinate or something, it was a colleague. But until she left the job, because I knew I have my personal reasons. Women are clingy, professional environment. Once you start something, it would affect a lot of
you
things.
have to treat madam like she's madam in the workspace, wherever you find yourself. Even though she will tell you that, oh yes, I'm okay, I can behave like.
But there'll
that's
be
what
an
they
issue
say.
at home.
When the emotions are involved,
Exactly.
you can't control.
So
what
when we
you
groom
do.
men with principles, people with values, to understand that when you're at the workplace, this is what you're supposed, this is the expectations. If you want to have any affair with someone, it's supposed to be outside the work. And even with that one, it's not supposed to be where there's power imbalance. It should be mutual. If the person decides to want to go, that is why even in corporate entities, most of the times we don't want to have two people married or two people in a relationship
Yes.
One
in the
has to
same way,
be
because it affects productivity and all of that. Again, I think we are focusing so much on the corporate world. There's another part which is also a corporate world, but less formal. I keep talking about this pubs, this restaurants, this bars and all of that. And I tell you that when you go to some of these places, as part of the expectations or criteria, you're supposed to dress hot to work. I have friends, so normally when I sit out and I meet some of these young ladies, I invite them and I talk to them. I ask them about why they are wearing what they are, and they tell you that if
That's
you don't
what their
dress that way,
bosses-
you'll be sacked. Because the bosses think that, okay, when you dress seductively, that is when men come around, they see you and they are enticed. So they will always want to come around and then engage so deliberately. It is like it's part of the organizational culture where they are. And there's no I there, because that is, people go there and but these are a lot of
No,
these.
so I don't think there's no I there. I think, you see, whether we like it or not, no matter the laws that we have, sex sells.
Sure.
Sex,
I
it
agree.
sells. Okay, which is a natural thing. Sex, whatever you do, sells. So for an environment like you are saying, what will become an issue in such an environment is if the boss is the one, because we are talking about sex for jobs and workplace sexual harassment. So if the boss is the one trying to take advantage of the waitress and all those ladies for his sexual satisfaction, for their promotion or for their salary increment and all of that, then that is what we are talking about. And that's
It's
what the
an
president
interesting area he's venturing
I was-
into, because now I'm thinking about it, and I'm sorry that I have to cut you. I'm so sorry, but if the boss is not doing it, but putting you in a position where someone can abuse you on the job, just so you can maintain your job, isn't that the same thing?
Yes, so that's what I'm coming to. So
Sorry,
it's two
and
things.
99% of the times, the bosses, especially the male,
Male.
do that. And so I'm not moving out of context. I'm telling you that the males
Because they
do that.
tell
It's
you
even-
that if a client wants to touch you and the client will stay at the job, allow it. So I get the angle he's
Then
coming
they'll tell
from.
you be nice.
Be
Sure.
nice. So
And
this be nice, what does it mean? You are
Sure.
making unwanted sexual advances at me that I do not like. So it may not necessarily be your boss, but it may be the customers that come there. So what in an instance like that should be done is that you don't have to use your workers as sex tools to get more clients. We have places, big places where they do not dress like that. You go to Kempinski, you go to Movenpick, you go to Marriott. That's not how they dress. But we have clients.
go to
We
Safari
have
Valley,
high
go to Aqua
quality
Safari.
coming
Yeah,
in.
sure.
Okay, so these are things that should be taken into consideration, like he rightly said, even at the informal side, because it's job for work, and that is also a job. You are
Yes.
paying them salary, you are
a
paying
chunk
them
of
their
the women
snakes and all of
are
that.
in that
Most women
area.
are in that sector as
Yeah.
well.
Sure.
So it should be a holistic thing.
Exactly.
For me, like I keep saying, what we need is for this express provision. And it shouldn't just be a provision that will not be enforced. That's the issue we have in Ghana. We have a lot of laws
Enforcement.
that
It
are
will
lack
go in
implementation.
Parliament
Good.
for years.
Even after that and it is
Enforcement.
passed, enforcement, we have to ensure that we enforce these laws. And we have to put mechanisms in place to make it easier for victims victims to be able to, bring out their grievances. And
Would
make
that be
these
your final word?
complaints.
Because I'd like you to add your final words to that so we can.
Yeah, so my final words would be that nothing justifies sex for job. Nothing justifies workplace sexual harassment. And at all time, we should make sure that those in power do not take advantage. If we want to actually develop the country, we should look at employing people based on meritocracy and not based on sex or based on something that is not well. And of course, for women, I can understand that it is because of economic means that sometimes you don't have a say, you have to endure. But find a way to create more for yourself that if such situations become very critical, you'll be able to move on. Now, another thing that makes it very difficult for people to bring such complaints is lack of evidence. So what I would say in addition is that the minute that starts, you can have the WhatsApp, find a way to get them to make this comment or commitment or advances via text so that you can have screenshots. Have a way to record. The recording thing, recording somebody without their consent sometimes is inadmissible in court, but you can find ways to make it admissible. So the challenge that a lot of people face with having no evidence to prove their case is something that people should work more on to be able to have enough evidence to prove their case. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. So the Bright Future is actually an advocate for good governance and a sustainable environment. And so for us as a civil society, what we do is to ensure that we come in. Some of the things we do is to advocate for the standalone law, which the president has also added his voice to. So now we think that is actually being taken care of. We hope that it wouldn't be just a speech, but then actions would be applied just to make it a reality. Again, we have one of our initiatives, that is the Lawyers for Good Causes, where we have lawyers where if someone is involved in such an issue, sex for job, and then the person is being victimized, or there's a legal issue and then the person needs lawyers, but for some reasons he or she has no funds to get the lawyers, then we come in, we have lawyers who are ready to help people. So that's what we call the Lawyers for Good Causes initiative for the Bright Future Alliance. Again, another thing that we do is to coming up with models for corporate organizations as to how to go about recruitment and all of that, so that we avoid this sex for job. Like I always say, you go to some environments or some companies and it's just one person doing the recruitment. So it's either you agree to his proposals or you leave. But where you have more than one step, let's say you have 3 levels. First person, you have to pass through the first person, second and third. I think it reduces some of these things. So there are models that we come up with that we look at your institution, we assess it, and then see what can best be done. Again, we look at reporting. Reporting is also one of the issues. My boss is coming at me. How do I inform the owner of the business? How do I inform the higher authority so that they won't come back at me? When you go to some places, we make the reportage anonymous so that no one knows who is reporting. It's general. Just like we do in the university. After every semester, you assess the lecturer, and then you share without your names and all of that. So management goes and then looks at the comments that have come over the period and who has been involved in what, and then they can look at that and see if there's any substance in what has been shared. There are a lot of the family values that we talk about to making sure that, because we focus more on preventive, going down there to the high school to make women and ladies understand that your worth as a woman is not tied to your sex organ. Who you are as a woman goes beyond your sex organ. Who you are is what you have to offer. It's when you are given the opportunity, what you can bring to the table. That is what makes you a woman. And making men understand that, hey, when there's power imbalance, you're not supposed to take advantage. You are there and you're supposed to be very professional about the work that